matrimony. Whole scene, I took up a new sensation, sparkling through. Glorious, thought of the light. All is well, Diana's future is bright. Matrimony, be Republican free. Matrimony, big bet for you and me. Matrimony, it's really nice to see. Everybody rejoicing, celebrating matrimony. The days of war hero of kept on fighting manfully. And now we attain victory. It's time and war. We get the matrimony. Matrimony, be Republican free. Matrimony, big bet for you and me. Matrimony, it's really nice to see. Everybody rejoicing, celebrating matrimony.
Sanko chase the love upon the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko chase the love upon the dam and the gala holla murder.
Police are come and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Sanko catchy love upon the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko catchy love upon the dam and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Sanko boy, you better run. Sanko boy, you better run. Sanko boy, policeman have come.
Sanko licky love upon the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko licky love upon the dam and the gala holla murder.
Police are come and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Sanko kissy love upon the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko kissy love upon the dam and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder.
This is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Kaldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Saturday, January 13, 2024. I can't believe I'm saying 2024. Again, if I didn't see you earlier, I still think it's good enough for me to say Happy New Year. And I don't even want to say Happy New Year. Let's change that. Let's just say welcome to 2024. Guyanese, how are we doing? Everybody, how are we doing? Please like the show, share the link. We're gonna speak on a few topics this evening. And again, I want to thank everyone, for allowing us to be in your homes today. I know today is Saturday. I don't know what my brothers and sisters in Guyana is doing. Let me try to see if I could think of what they're doing. I think whoever is working is probably wrapping up work, to the extent the females are able to go get their hair done or their nails done, they might be getting that done. Cost of living is through the roof. So I don't know if that's going to be possible, because I know how the Guyanese females typically think. It is always about taking care of their children first, and then everything comes after. But with what the typical normal everyday Guyanese is facing today, I don't even know if the females are able to go out and pamper themselves and get their nails done and their hair done and these type of things. But hopefully in the future we will be able to get such things done. Please like the program, share the link. All right. So today we wanna touch and focus a bit on cost of living. I know there's a lot of hot issues out there, but we're gonna refrain from some of those, and we're gonna try to stay, on cost of living and the issues that are actually affecting everyday Guyanese. And I think cost of living is one of the massive issues that Guyanese are facing today and have been facing for some time. And it is something that needs to be addressed. And the only way I feel, like if this can be addressed is by the government, making changes, and putting, things in position or making decisions, from a tax perspective. We've talked about the VAT, cutting that in half. Also, there needs to be a salary increase. It's been so long that Guyanese have been living, this way, where, the expenditure is so much more than what they are making. The expenditure is way more than the income. And from a government perspective, I don't think that they really, think through the lines of, people having children to send to school. Also, they have to pay passage to go to work. Some of these people are renters. Some of them have both of their parents who are probably retired and pensioners still alive and possibly living with them. Now, if you have two pensioners alive and living, with their son and daughter or their son and daughter-in-law, that's $66,000 there. But we're talking about two adults. And I don't think that that's nearly sufficient, and I feel like if the government is missing the train on this, because, You know, they are so rich, they are so mighty, they have everything. They don't know what it is like to be a normal, everyday Guyanese. So it is very difficult for this government, this installed government that is in place, to put their feet in the shoes of the everyday Guyanese. Because of course their mandate is, which should be first and foremost, to, you know, pay attention to the people of Guyana. They are not respecting that mandate. So I was able to get on the ground and have a few individuals in Guyana send me quite a few voice notes that we're going to try to play today. And we're going to speak to these voice notes because these are people on the ground, you know, who are being affected by this economic genocide that Guyanese are experiencing at the present moment. So I'm gonna go into playing our first voice note. Just in the comments, just let me know if you're hearing clearly, because I want you guys to be able to hear these. All right. Let me start the first one.
Good afternoon. We are in Ghana here, trying to hear some of our problems and our struggles that we're facing here. Firstly, I think we should have a fair distribution of our oil resources to each and every populace of the country, because I think our government is using our money, which is the people's money, right, in a corrupt way for their friends and them, the elites, right? And the poorer class of people, they're struggling just to put a food on the table for their children, right? And next thing too that well, it's basically on the oil resources, because otherwise that we're seeing infrastructures going on, but you don't put infrastructure and these kind of things on the table, right? Because the poor class people struggling and infrastructure going up, hotels, new roads, hospitals, schools, that's good. But deal with the working class of people first, you understand, so that they could support their family. I think that's my major concern, right? And thank you very much for your ears listening. Thank you. Let's go after. Now for me.
All right. Okay, thank you, Desiree. Thank you very much. I wanted to hear somebody say that, you know, they could have hear what heard the voice notes clearly. So that's good. All right. So that first voice note, what that individual is talking about is about, you know, the unequal. One of the things that really stood out in what he said, he spoke of the unequal distribution of wealth across Guyana. Okay. He also spoke of the fact, right, that he feels as if they're not benefiting anything, you know, with this new oil find. And I feel like this is something that people are experiencing all across Guyana. You would have expect the quality of life for normal everyday Guyanese to would have changed with this oil find, because they started extracting oil, I think, around in 2020, late 2020. All right. And we are now in 2024. So should something not be hitting the Guyanese people by now? You know, we're seeing, and he's right, we're seeing a lot of infrastructural work being done. You're seeing a lot of new buildings. But the thing about these new buildings and a lot of this infrastructure that's being done, and I'm going to target buildings and hotels and these type of things, these things are not government owned. You know, these things are not government owned, but yet the government have these massive budgets for infrastructure. We know that the airport was being done. That's understandable, you know, but these other buildings that are going up, we need to know who the owners of these buildings are, because the last thing you want is for money that is being allocated by the government to do municipality work and government work is being used privately to put up people's private buildings and hotels. We don't want that. And that, would not be right to be doing this with the taxpayers' money, and albeit the money that belongs to the people of Guyana. So I totally agree with that caller and what he has to say. And listen, it's a consistent struggle on the ground for the everyday Guyanese. Let's go to the next voice note.
That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Now, for me, I thinking that yes, they should drop the threshold. We need new change, government, because they're using our resources for their friends, colleagues, and they cling around them. So I think we should get a new government. And secondly, yes, we're getting our infrastructure and so on. But then, in the end of the day, everything costs a living, everything costs sky. You can't build a house right now. A poor man can't build a house. First thing, the land is so expensive and we live right there. So much money we are paying for land right there. You live right there, right? And then when you don't pay 2 point something, 3 point something for a piece of land, how you want to find the money for build this house?
I'm going to pause that caller there, that voice note for 1 minute. We are talking about the distribution of land. We're talking about Guyanese being given the opportunity to have their own property. Now, if cost of living is through the roof and you can't even take care of yourself on your salary, how would you, if you're renting, how would you be able to have that, to create an area where you have that disposable income that you can attempt to save to try to amass, the wealth or the monies to be able to purchase a piece of land? And then on top of that, because when you purchase land, they give you a certain amount of time for you to start building. You would be able to purchase the land, but then you also have to build. I think it is very, very, very difficult for the normal, hardworking Guyanese to be able to, complete such a task without some type of government aid. I think the government should look at creating a voucher system, some type of system to aid normal everyday Guyanese, in being able to attain that dream as a Guyanese, to own a small piece of land in their country and to be able to build a little home. That home should be what they dream of, what they would like for themselves, not the government building those little dark kennels that we would have seen and telling Guyanese that they need to purchase them to live in, and it costs so much money. I know many of you would have seen, those little so-called quote unquote, I would call them dark schemes, because it's a set of little kennels there. A family cannot move into one of those things. A husband and wife and 2 children cannot move in to one of those things. The houses are also built right on top of each other in an oil-producing nation. So across the board, we need to see some measure of change when it comes to government satisfying that #1 mandate and taking care of their citizens. I don't know where taking care of the citizens lies with this installed government, because absolutely nothing was done for the citizens of Guyana. Let's continue with the voice note.
Find money. Everything gone up, everything, because the food, material-wise, everything just gone right up sky high. So it unreasonable. So I think that the public servant and the private sector supposed to look into the workers' needs and then they raise people pay and let people get a better cost of living and because we struggle a lot because I never go for distribute this cash grant and this certain area they go in and some area they go in and some people now get their own friend, some people get their own friend and their own colleague when them sharing this money with. So when they go to certain area, you're not getting it. You have to let call and find out and then they promise you and they promise you ain't getting nothing. So I think that the money should share equally to each and everybody. Everybody should enjoy the island source and the wealth of Guyana. Everybody's supposed to enjoy it. Whether black, Indian, Koli, or whatever you call it, Portuguese, Chinese, whoever, everybody's supposed to get equal share of whatever island wealth we get from the country. So that is not that. So it is easy. We get it stiff down here. It's stiff. But so I hope that maybe get a change and then we get a better government so that we could distribute and looking after the needs of each and every project. We need everybody to involve. We need that the government, the new government will understand that look after the black, the Indian, the Portuguese, the Chinese, and everybody. Everybody wants to enjoy it. You understand me? So I feel that is my thing for now, but I guess that the new government will look into all these kind of stuff.
All right, you heard it there. That voice note, that caller is saying that, basically he would like to see a new government in place and what he expects from a new government, what he would expect from a new government. Listen, I am saying this, government responsibility is not to take care of the individuals who would have voted for them only. When you are in government or when you are a government, whether installed or not, you are a government for the entire nation. And this is where the installed PPPC needs to take a page out of the coalition of 2015 to 2020. That is where the PPPC install regime needs to take a page. But they're not doing so. That's why you have many Guyanese and many activists, social media activists and influencers, coming after the government because the government is not acting like a government should. They are acting like a corrupt organization. Sometimes I deem them a corrupt terrorist organization for the way that they attack people. When people, want to use what is called their democratic right and speak out when they think that government is not operating the way that they should operate. Now, if you have a government in place and you have an opposition, and the opposition is not checking the government the way the people would like to see the government be checked, then the onus are upon the people to check the government themselves, and that is what has been happening. And this is what the PPPC needs to understand. Whenever someone is sitting in government, whether installed or elected, they are there to serve the people. And if the people feel that government is not serving them, they have a democratic right and a freedom to speak out against government. So I don't know where the PPPC think that they're going with trying to limit people's ability to speak out against them. The ERC can do absolutely nothing. I say it again, the ERC could do absolutely nothing about people demonstrating their democratic right and speaking out against government. They can do nothing. It is the right of the people. And I encourage every Guyanese, to the extent you are displeased with the performance of the government, to speak out against them. To the extent you are displeased with the performance of the opposition, who entails a part of the government, speak out against them. It is your right, and you have a right to execute that freedom that was given to you. Remember, there is also laws. And for the most part, the people of Guyana respects the laws, right? The people respect the laws, but then when they have a right to demonstrate that right also. And if that right is freedom of speech, they have a right to do so. No one should stop them. I just want to make that clear. No one should stop anyone from speaking out. Right? They're not trying to have people attack government or anything like that. They're just speaking out, constructive criticism. They don't like what they see. They don't like what the government, the angles that the government is taking. They're taking care of infrastructure, external financiers, and everybody else, and forgetting the people of Ghana. The people have a right to speak. That's my take on that. Also, the caller spoke of cost of living across the board. You know, when people have children, it's such a struggle, man. It is such a struggle. And listen, we only have about 750 to 800,000 people in Guyana. Now, with the influx of Venezuelans, maybe 820,000. I don't know. I don't have an exact number. But with that being said, you know, you don't want to discourage people from having children because it is so expensive to raise children. You don't want to do that. You know, you don't want to do that. You want to encourage young people to have children and to build families. That's why in government you need to have proper also family structure. And that's where we have a disconnect in Guyana also. Because when you look at the PPPC, it is the vice president who has the most power in that party. Now I want you to do something and show me his family structure. Show me his wife. Show me his children. Sometimes when you don't have those things, when you don't have a family, you don't understand what it is to have a family and raise children and do all the things that a normal Guyanese has to do. So the PPPC is completely missing the boat when it comes to the people of Guyana. And I'm not just talking about people who vote APNU plus AFC. I am talking also about the supporters of the same PPPC. These people are struggling. These people are struggling. There is no future for sugar. But we continue to push out these massive budgets for Gaisuko. We continue to push out these massive budgets for Gaisuko. Move around the sugar workers. The older ones, keep them on the job. The younger ones, move them into other industries. You know? Change up. Let's change up some of these cane fields and stuff. Let's change to, you know, maybe cash crop. Right? Because we got things like pumpkin and these kind of things. A slice of pumpkin $1,000. Ah, man. Let's do another voice note. All right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Caesar.
Now, I'm sending you this voice note. I wanted to know what's the way forward for the Guyanese citizen. Now, cost of living in Guyana is skyrocketing. You know, now pumpkin, a piece of pumpkin is $1,000, right? Now, they got greens, you can't afford it. If you can't afford the greens, no. I'm living in a home where I pay $60,000 a month rent. I have my internet to pay. I have other bills to pay. We're not working for $60,000 a month, but you gotta find a rent for $60,000. You have to have other stuff that you has to buy and other bills to pay. You understand? And I'm not seeing how these things doing when Guyana is an oil-rich country and nothing ain't going on for us. You understand? I really don't understand what is going on in Guyana. I would like somebody to let me know what really is the way forward for Guyanese people. I am tired, I am sick, I am fed up of the situation in Guyana. I cannot live here anymore. You understand? I really don't know. Some days you don't even have things to put on your table. So I would like somebody to tell me what's really going on. That is what we need. We need people to come forward to tell us what is going on. Because it's the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. We need to know something. We need to know something. Just now is budget. You understand? We can't live in this. How we live in when the budget comes out. That is what I need to know. Thank you, Mr. Caesar.
What can we anticipate for Budget Day 2024? You guys would have just heard that woman. She's tired. She's fed up. Okay? 23 years plus this 3 years of the PPP. I can see why she's tired. I can see why she doesn't want to live in her own country that she was born in. It's a crying shame because Guyana is so rich in natural resources. You know, Guyana is so rich when it comes down to the oil resource. We have bauxite, we have gold, we have diamonds, you know, we have rice, we have sugar. We don't have the beautiful beaches, but our interlands, we have creeks, we have lakes, beautiful lakefront that we can build out resorts. Guyana can still have a budding tourism industry. But yet, look how our people are forced to live in poverty. Yes, and I use the word force, right? My expectation is that these two parties, these two powerhouses, the APNU and the PPPC, well, the PPPC has been sitting there since 2020. 2025, I think it should be. Not even think. Forget the word think. It should be. the turn of the APNU plus AFC. Everybody needs a turn at this. The PPPC would have failed the people. It doesn't matter how many buildings and how much infrastructure you do, works that you do. Man, you can't take buildings, you can't take roads to the tables of people. Okay? You needed to start off first by addressing your people, making them comfortable. Look at our pensioners, $33,000. Really? No vouchers for, if they need to go to the dentist, if they need to get their pressure checked, these type of things should be in place. But we're going to continue this discussion. Let's just take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back after the break.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Kaldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
So this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I just want to give this little note over to Guyanese in the diaspora. All Guyanese in the diaspora who has been sitting here in the US for over 5 years. I encourage you guys to please contact the Bench Up Consultancy and get your citizenship done. It is important. We are in an election year here in the United States of America, and your citizenship applications would go through very fast and very smoothly in an election year as they're looking for people, to be able to vote. And you want to also be able to demonstrate your democratic right and vote right. Okay, you guys saw what happened when Donald Trump was in power. You guys saw how Mike Pompeo went down to Guyana. You guys saw the threats that were made against the sitting coalition government, a government that was duly elected by the people, for the people, a government that was actually for the people, were threatened. Okay, threatened. Sanctions. They were threatened with sanctions also, sanctions against the country. Now, Guyanese, let's sit back. You know, look at the poverty you guys are living in. You know, look at the installed government that you guys have in place in Guyana. Wouldn't it have made more sense to actually take those sanctions? Because I'm telling you this, I'm not even sure they would have sanctioned us. And if they did, they would have came right back to us because they wanted to get their hands on the oil anyway. They wanted to get their hands on the oil anyway. All right, let's continue with cost of living. All right, we're going to do another voice note. These are some real interesting voice notes, and it's good to get a perspective of what's going on the ground in Guyana and what people are forced to live through. This one seems to be a short one. Let me do this one.
Greetings, Mr. Caesar. You know me. You know what I stand for. So my view on what is going on in Guyana, it is different from most. From 1992, when Carter came to Guyana, to now, the neo-colonizers were invited then, and they still remain in control up to this very hour. The politicians that you would have known over the years from 1992 coming straight down to now, who would have gotten into power, are selected.
Well, that was a different take from that caller on that voice note, but hey, everybody's going to have their own opinion, their own perception of what is happening and what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that our electoral apparatus in Guyana is not operating the way that it should operate. And that is something that we have been talking about for some time. And I think that is a conversation that needs to continue, you know, because it is going to be the basis as to who is going to be in government after 2025. You know, it's interesting because I want to say this and I want to be clear on this. We encourage all investors to come to Guyana and invest. We are not stopping anybody. We are not chasing ExxonMobil, Hess, or any one of the big oil companies that are investing, Chevron, you know, Shell. We're not chasing anyone out of Guyana. You are all welcome to do business in Guyana. What we ask is that you come correct. You bring proper values to our country. Your business practices are in line with the international rules and regulations. And if you're an American-based company, it is in line with the regulations of the SEC. We want you to operate fairly. We do not want you to be a part of our electoral matters. You are in Guyana for business. Let's keep it as business. So I think this is the point that the caller was trying to make. And he also feels like if, you know, there's a lot of foreign interference in our elections. We cannot doubt that, because I think we would have seen that at the 2020 elections. So I think he's right on point with this. Let's take another voice note. because I have quite a few of them. I'm looking at time. So let me go. Okay.
Hi, Mrs. Caesar. I'm calling concerning our country, Guyana. First of all, we need certain villages, roads, wages of salary, jobs. Cost of living is very high. When you come to that, you buy something today, by tomorrow you go back, the price is up. So I'm concerning that young people need jobs because, for instance, other people coming into the country and they're getting jobs and so on. So we young people from Guyana, who is Guyanese, we need jobs, roads, some of the villages, streets, bridges. When you come to the road, if you have a midnight cry, you cannot come out easy like that. So I'm asking, I'm begging, please.
You guys heard that. Cost of living, jobs, other people coming into Guyana and getting employment. It was not too long ago that the PPPC would have come out and say that Guyanese are not qualified for certain jobs. All right. Now, is it okay to make such a statement? Yes. But not when you are responsible for that. You would have been sitting there for 23 years. Right? It is part of your mandate to make sure that your people are educated. But how can you educate your people when university is not free? How can you? As part of your mandate, you came out and you said that you would create 50,000 jobs. You never specified and said you would create 50,000 jobs and 20,000 of those jobs would be part-time. When it comes down to jobs, the only thing that the PPPC talks about is those part-time jobs. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable that you have your own people sitting there in Guyana, jobless, but you're having people shipped into the country to work. I was looking at a short post from Mr. Brian Max. He said he saw a set of people lined off in nature. He wasn't sure if they were from India or Bangladesh. He said about 70. You know, these types of behaviors got to stop. That's not 70 people that were just brought into Guyana to work. Those are 70 additional voters. And who know how often 70 or more people comes into the country for that same purpose. But yet, born and bred Guyanese is sitting there with no jobs and they're getting not even one slice of the pizza pie. But yet still, the PPPC aims to muzzle them. They must not exercise their right to speak up when they see the wrongs of government. It's got to stop. The voice note also spoke of what? Roads and bridges. I want to hit one particular village here. Well, I'm going to hit two. I see that they're doing roads in Pleasance and stuff. That's fine. Where the roads needs to be done is in Victoria. That was the forest village that was purchased by our ancestors. Every time the PPPC is in power, they do absolutely nothing in Victoria. Juan Edgell and Mark Phillips, Utah, the village that our ancestors would have come together to purchase. Nothing is being done there. What are you guys going to do? What are you going to do? Victoria Sideline East, Victoria Sideline West needs to be done. They are elderly folks living down those streets. And to the extent something happens to them, no taxi would go down those streets to pick them up and bring them out. How do you guys feel about that? They can be your parents. How do you feel? You guys have proven over and over again that you have no heart. You have no respect for the Guyanese people. You have no conscience. These streets needs to be done. You guys can take heed and do them. And if you don't do them, to the new government, have this at the top of your agenda, or you will be sure to hear from me. Okay? Don't disrespect Victoria. Victoria is a part of the Afro-Guyanese history. Okay, and we know that the Afro-Guyanese have a very, very rich history in Guyana, and that is not going to be disrespected by no one. No one. I'll go to the next voice note.
Cost of living is very high. I'm just a pensioner, living on the little pension money. I said, just imagine 3 eggs for $400. Can you imagine?
You know, guys, that hurts. That really hurts because, you know, I know a lot of old folks in Guyana, you know. A lot of the older folks that I, you know, grew up around when I was young in Guyana, they're still around there. The lady that used to babysit me, she still lives there. You know, a lot of people, and to hear their cries and to hear their pleads and to know that, you know, a lot of these people, they sometimes pass away, not really because of bad health, but because of the worst care possible. You know, they're unable to get their pressures checked. You know, they are unable to get dental work done. They're unable to get their heart checked. You know, little simple things. You know, lack of nutrition. Is this government not shame? Is this installed government really not ashamed of themselves? You guys better start reshuffling that budget and don't bring that nonsense to the table come Monday. You better not bring that nonsense to the table come Monday. And the opposition better stand up in Parliament. I would have said this to the opposition many, many times. And Monday was the perfect day to bring out your entire constituency. Bring out the people. Bring out the people. Budget Monday. Bring them out. Let the people face their oppressors head on. Because I know come Monday, the PPPC would not be able to surprise me by putting out a budget that is people-centric. They will not surprise me. We need some major changes in Guyana. We need some major changes in Guyana, especially when it comes to cost of living. I will continue with the voice note. How much, what did she say? 3 eggs, $1,000? Is that what we just heard? Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. I am looking at something here that was just posted up. Mark, could you hold that there? By my sister. Sorry, I mean Lemon. Can you please hold that up for me? Mr. Caesar, they discharged my 92-year-old uncle saying he has cancer and kidneys not good without pain management, no medication. Where are the care for the elderly? Thank you for holding that up for me, Lemon. You know, and this is something that has always bothered me, you know, and it hurt my heart because every year we lose pensioners. And listen, let's not take our pensioners for granted. They are not stupid. They contributed to building Guyana that we can inherit what we have now. They have contributed. And you know what's one of the favorite things of the elderly and pensioners? You know what they do? They love to pick up the newspapers. So if for 1 minute we think that they are not aware that Guyana is one of the largest oil producers in the world and that we are an oil producing nation, if you think they're not aware of that, think again. Because they may have more knowledge of what's going on than many of us, because they sit down and they read. They do a lot of reading and a lot of listening. So when they see things like this, that's, you know, where Guyana is evolving, what do you think they expect? They expect better care. They expect something coming their way. Oh my God, listen, this government is so heartless, man. I just don't know what to say, man. This government is heartless. And for all the Guyanese that are watching out there, all 6 ethnic groups, across all party lines, guys, come as a collective. Remember, together we stand, divided we fall. This is our country. We need a change. This is not working. Are we not seeing that this is not working? I know that we're not dumb. I know we understand what's happening. It's not working. We need a change, and we need a change now, ASAP. If it doesn't happen in 2025, we would have lost Guyana. We don't want to lose beautiful Guyana. Guyana belongs to us, and it needs to remain that way. We do not go to anybody else's country, infringe on it, infringe on their laws, disrespect their laws, or say that their country belongs to us. We don't do that. We don't need anyone to come into our country, rip our country apart, and then leave it economically unstable. Guyanese, Guyana belongs to you. Remember, when you vote a government into place, you vote the government to do your business. The government is responsible for doing the business of the people. Okay? We are a democracy based on representation. Let's take another voice note.
Imagine being a healthcare worker. Your salary is $100,000 when $100,000 every month. Your take home is $91,000. How can one person survive on $91,000 every month when you're a single parent and you have children to send to school? You got bills to pay, you gotta buy food, you gotta pay internet bill, light bill, water bill. You gotta buy food. A monthly grocery now these days is not even $25,000. A good monthly grocery is $40,000-$50,000. When you don't pay $40,000-$50,000 for a good monthly grocery, where you getting from though? You gotta buy personal stuff. You gotta you say you gotta get money for pay passage for go to work. How you surviving on $91,000? A tray egg is $1,700. 1 pound of plantain is $300, and the plantain we're getting now on the market is them little fine plantain. How you surviving?
Healthcare worker making about $120,000. $91,000 take home after taxes. The individual has a child to take care of. Okay. A good month's groceries, $40,000. So if that individual is bringing home $90,000, good month's grocery, $91,000, $40,000, $51,000 remaining. Child to send to school, passage to go back and forth to work, rent, internet, light, gas. You're gonna have to pay water from time to time. What's happening? What's happening? You're telling me that Guyanese people are not eligible or do not deserve the right to have enough disposable income to go on one vacation with their family? Listen, this is just not working. This is not working. This is not working. And the government is doing nothing whatsoever to temper cost of living. Inflation is through the roof, right? And there's more coming Guyana's way, because I understand that some ships would have been attacked. You know, some oil ships, and oil prices is jumping again. When that jump, it has a worldwide effect. It affects the stock market. From the stock market, it goes right through the world. But I even see when all the stock markets around the world is up, nothing is changing in Guyana when it comes to inflation. It is funny looking at this. You know, it is funny when you look at it from that perspective. Nothing changes in Guyana. If inflation goes up 10%, it's there all the time. It doesn't come down. We need a new government. We need a new government to focus on the people of Guyana. And with that government, we need some strong economic minds to deal with Guyana and its finances. The people of Guyana is struggling, and their struggle needs to be the first and foremost issue on the plate of a new government to address. Free university with a new government, you will get that. If it is the coalition that takes government comes 2025, you will have your free university. Because in conversation with Mr. Norton, it was right on straight up. He indicated that that was one of the things, that was one of the issues that the party would address just about immediately. Within 6 months to a year, it will be done. And we all know that a coalition is a more people-centric party. It is for the people, by far, more so than the PPPC. It's about time the people of Guyana get a break. Let me see, I think I may have 2 more voice notes. All right.
I did some investigation and I did some asking of questions through some sources on the ground in Guyana. The people on the ground are very, very disappointed in the way how the country is being run. Not only PLC people, but people from the PPP also. They are businessmen who are afraid to speak out against the PPP for fear of being attacked after they have spoken out. We have to we have to pull ourselves together, band together, the PNC and members of the PPP who are not pleased with what is going on, and vote the PPP out of office. The PPP is not good for Guyana. Guyana will become worse this year. It's going to get worse for poor people and for working class in Guyana. The government does not care about its own people, much less they care about the coalition strongholds. And you can see that they're showing their hands that they don't care. Whenever a PPP person would speak out, they will be attacked by other PPP people in PPP strongholds. They are not pleased with what is going on. They are not pleased with what is going on. And for the PNC, you guys need to take a minute, take some time and question yourself. Do some soul searching and ask yourself the certain questions about our leadership, and just do not jump and follow people on social media and post things that you know you don't really mean. We have to come together and we are going to win. If we continue to fight each other, abuse each other on social media, and give the PPP supporters jokes, they are going to laugh at us like what is presently happening now only a few minutes ago. That's all I have to say, my brother.
That's well said. The main focus today was cost of living. And I think we would have already went over what the government would need to do, in order to make Guyana a livable country for the poor. Looking at everything from a long-term perspective, there needs to be a new government in place. I feel like if it's way too late, for the PPPC to try to attempt to recover from what they would have dished out to the Guyanese people these first 3 years of their term. You can do a stimulus. You can make university free. Guyanese people, don't be blinded. Even if those 2 things that I would have just said occur, why did they not occur in the first 3 years? Why do you have to punish before you get some reward? Have you not punished already for 23 years? What more punishment do you need? What more punishment do you need? Like the voice note, the caller would have just said, the PPPC is absolutely no good for Guyana. No good. No good. I want to say this to the business people out there, the investors out there, the big companies investing in Guyana. I know you might be sitting there and you might be pondering what is going to happen to our business. Nothing is going to happen to your business. This is not about interrupting your flow of business. Once your business practices are in line with rules and regulations and there's no corruption, no one is going to trouble your business practice. This that we're talking about today, it's about people. It's not about business. It's about human beings. Okay? And these human beings that we're talking about is the actual human beings who owns Guyana. They own Guyana. But yet they seek to not benefit from what they own. They're not benefiting anything from what they own. Nobody thinks about the people. Nobody. Presidents, entire parties, MPs, both sides. When you guys make decisions, or when you guys are working on a project, do you guys think about the people? That's what you should be thinking about. Because that's who you work for. When I work on a project, I think how best I can serve my clients. Because I'm working for them. You guys need to put the Guyanese people first. The Guyanese people need to benefit from all the patrimonies of their country, not just the oil. We have a very good gold and diamond industry. We need a new government to address all our industries across the board, weed out all the corruption. Yes, weed out all the corruption. We need to have all top government officials across Guyana comprehensively audited to make sure that their assets can match up to their income. And to be honest with you, many will fail that test. Many. Because you guys have been so unfair to the Guyanese people. You have been so unfair to your own people. Across the board in government, you guys need to clean up your act. All right? Across the board. I don't care who. Our government is made up of both parties. You got people who are former ministers of the government showing their middle finger at people and doing all this nonsense. Where are the role models for our young Guyanese people? Where are the role models? Where are the programs for these young people? This is how you build a country. This is how you leave from the negative P of poverty to the positive P of prosperity. You have to build your country across the board. You have to invest in your people. You guys talk about Guyanese not being educated. Have you guys taken the time to invest in them? As a government, have you guys been people-centric in any way or form? Irfan Ali came out and said, oh, he got the best interests of women and children. Where? Those women are going in the market with their little list and they can't even fulfill half of the list with the money that they got. And you got their interest? You ain't got their interest, man. You ain't got their interest. When I see smiles on the faces of the people of Guyana, when I'm not getting voice notes, like the voice notes I would have received today, then we can be talking about Guyana, and being in the right place. That is when we can talk. Until then, our activism will remain strong. We will continue to speak out against the wrongs of government. You guys have never heard us speak out and say, oh, go and attack this person, or oh, go and attack that person. No, we're addressing the issues. You can do us absolutely nothing for addressing issues. Nothing. Nothing. We will continue to address issues until those issues are addressed. Everyone deserves to live a healthy life, a life in prosperity, a life in happiness. Not just you guys at the top, where y'all can dress up your families in pajamas and all these things and send out photos to an oppressed people, to a people that's living in poverty. I would have been ashamed to do such a thing. But as we prepare to take our leave this afternoon, my brothers and sisters, let's continue to keep hope alive. Quick note for the opposition. One word: unity. You sit in a position of leadership, execute. You sit there in a position as an MP, execute for the people. You are there to serve the people. Until next week, my brothers and sisters, I bid you all to enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm not going to say goodbye because we're going to be back next week. There's no goodbye. And you guys are going to see me on Straight Up during the week, this week. But please, continue to hold hope high. You know, this is going to happen. Thank you guys very much.
Sanko boy, you better run. Sanko boy, police are come. Sanko boy, you better run. Sanko boy, policeman are come.
Sanko licky love up on the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko licky love up on the dam and the gala holla murder.
Police are come and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Sanko kissy love up on the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko kissy love up on the dam and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Sanko boy, you better run. Sanko boy, police are come. Sanko boy, you better run. Sanko boy, policeman are come.
Sanko chasey love up on the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko chasey love up on the dam and the gala holla murder.
Police are come and the gala holla murder. Police are come and the gala holla murder. Sanko catchy love up on the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko catchy love up on the dam and the gala holla murder. and the gala holla murder. Zango boy, you better run. Zango boy, police have come. Zango boy, you better run. Zango boy, policeman have come.
Sanko squeeze the love up on the dam and the gala holla murder. Sanko squeeze the love up on the dam and the gala holla murder.
Police have come and the gala holla murder.
Yeah, my name